Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am about to do a lesbian reaction video, but I will be honest with you. I looked at this video, but the reason why I'm going to give you a reaction to this particular video is because it actually confirms what I've been explaining to a lot of women who are masculine presenting. They either identify as butch, stud, or tomboy. Some even identify as being androgynous. These are women who are more masculine in appearance due to their mannerisms and their energy. And specifically, I am referring to lesbian women. And the reason why is because lesbian women are female homosexuals. They are exclusively attracted to women. Because there are women who have masculine presenting demeanor, mannerisms, and physical appearance, but they're not lesbians. And many men think that they are sleeping with lesbians, but they're sleeping with women who are fluid in their sexuality. So they may be bisexual or pansexual or demisexual. Some women are even heterosexual who are very tomboyish or masculine presenting. But specifically for this video that I'm going to react to, this is referring to lesbians who are studs, butch, or tomboyish, or androgynous. And I was informing a woman, actually various women, that men do not look at you as being a dude. They do not think that you are one of the guys, one of the boys. As a matter of fact, if you are a lesbian and you are masculine presenting, if a man tells you that he views you as one of the homeboys, he probably is lying to you because he wants you to feel comfortable around him. It's a part of their game. Because these men, heterosexual men, and even bisexual men, when they see you, a lesbian, and you are masculine presenting, they see a woman. And this video that I am about to react to, it actually confirms what I've always been saying the whole time. Because a lot of lesbian, masculine presenting women, they are women, so they think like women. Because you are a woman. And you do not understand men. Because you are not a man. You don't have a mindset of a man. But me being in a position of being a life coach, and I get to speak to men and women. They can be heterosexual men, bisexual men, homosexual men. I hear what men talk about. I have men who come to me for life coaching, asking how to be a better boyfriend or a husband to their girlfriend or wife. So I have the experience of interacting with men and understanding their perspective. Now, of course, I am a life coach for same-sex attracted people, but I pretty much will coach anyone who is an ally or an actual person who personifies being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or LGBTQIA+. And I think it's important that I inform you, enlighten you, educate you, and even coach you if you're interested in receiving life coaching to help you better navigate this life. Because as lesbians, we can't avoid men entirely. As a matter of fact, it's not that lesbians do not want to have any type of interaction with men, because that's just not the case. We have fathers, we have uncles, brothers, male cousins. We have men who are very important figures in our lives. And some of them are not related to us by blood, but they can be very kind men, good-hearted men. There's very few of them, but there are good men who are out here. But these men understand that they do not need to cross the line of trying to pursue and bed a lesbian woman. And that is the only way that a man can have a healthy and a pure relationship if he is a man and he is going to befriend a lesbian woman. But in this specific video that I am going to do my lesbian reaction to, this is a man reacting to a lesbian stud who is expressing her view about being hit on by men who she thinks should know that she is obviously a gay woman. But she doesn't know or realize that. And he explains in his reaction video that she's a woman and a man sees an attractive woman, even though you think that you look like a boy or a dude or a guy or a man, however you want to use the phrase. So here is my lesbian reaction. And again, it confirms what I have been informing masculine presenting lesbians. So I want you to be able to see this reaction video so you can actually hear from a male's perspective. Now, I will say that I do not necessarily like his approach, the man that is in this video, because I do think that he's a bit calloused towards lesbian masculine presenting women. But still, I just want you to be able to hear a male's perspective. That way, ladies, you can be more careful and protect yourself when you are interacting with men, or even you're minding your own business and this man is approaching you and it's highly annoying. That way you can kind of better understand why men do what they do. My name is Giselle Wallace. I am a certified life coach and author. And here on my YouTube channel, I provide my lesbian perspective. And if that interests you, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, I will proceed with playing this man's reaction video to a lesbian stud who is expressing how much she cannot stand the fact that men hit on her when she believes they should not do that because she looks like a man. Now, his video is called "Stud Can't Figure Out Why So Many Men Want to Holler at Her."
So you have a stud, you know, this stud can't figure out why a dude was trying to holler at her. But let's go ahead and check that out.
When God's flirting with me, it really has me questioning my whole appearance. Because I don't understand. Do I look like I'm for y'all? Like, what's going on with this? There was one time I was driving, and I'm not mean until I have to be, you feel me? So the nigga was looking at me in my car, and I hit him, I hit him with one of these, you feel me? Like, what's good, you feel me? And he hit me with it back. I'm like, all right, cool, interaction over. That's it, you feel me? The man proceeds to roll down his window And he says, "You look good. Where you going?" I what, sir? Hello? Man? I look what? I had to hit one of these real quick.
What?
Like, I had to see what he was seeing to see if I look like enough of a boy. I'm like, do I not look like a boy? I'm like so confused. Like, what can I do what more can I do? Like, hello? I got, like, come on. And then I said, I'm gay. He said, what? I said, I don't like men. And then he cursed me out and he drove away. Like, why are you mad? What did you expect? Like, I don't understand.
Miss Ma'am or Mr. Ma'am, whatever you want to go by, listen.
All right, so he's already being very insulting. As you can see, that, like I said, I did not like his approach because he's very calloused. But ladies, I want you to look past his ignorance and his judgmental view of lesbian women who are masculine presenting and just listen to how a man thinks. But this young lady, she is very clear about who she is. She lets you know that she's gay. She's a gay woman. She says she looks like a guy. She looks like a man. And this is what you call the scenario where you stop at the red light. Have you ever stopped at a red light in traffic, ladies? And you could just feel somebody looking at you. And sure enough, you look over and there's this man just staring and gawking at you. It happens. I know it's happened to me. I'm sure it happens to you. Sometimes when I stop at the red light, I don't even look to my left or right when I feel like somebody's just trying to get my attention. If it's not an emergency going on the road, I don't have time to go over there and look at you and roll down my window and talk to you because, well, it's kind of dangerous out here. But I understand she was just being polite. But she was met with a man who was so defeated that he cursed her out. She said the man cursed her out just because she said that she's gay, that she does not like men. She got cursed out. This is what a lot of lesbians go through day in, day out. The abuse by these men, like they cannot handle rejection. And she believes that men should know that she is a gay woman based on her physical appearance because she says she looks like a guy. Well, since she's expressing this, of course, you can understand logically why she would feel that way, because let me explain to you what I have heard so many times out of the mouths of men. They always try to give women a dress code. They will say that women need to always dress feminine. They need to grow their hair really long. They need to smell like flowers. And they need to wear heels and have long fingernails. You know, they have this ideal image of the way a woman looks. And they always seem to frown at when a woman dresses very casual. She doesn't really dress up fancy. She may not wear makeup. She may keep her hair just in a very natural look. It's nothing too extravagant. And men will call women like that boring. I've heard it before. I remember being in high school and college, really when you're in high school, you know, in the early, and also I'll just say college years, you get so many guys who are trying to change women, the way they physically look. And you'll watch and see how they'll go for the girls who look they like ultra feminine, like very prissy women who are kind of dainty and they don't like to break a nail, and that kind of woman who is what they say, she's a lady that's in distress until her hero male comes and saves her. So men actually are part of women putting on this fake persona of being real feminine looking and dressing ultra feminine to please a man, because that's what they talk about, and that's generally the kind of women they flock to. But what you don't hear men talk about is how much they love a woman who is really cool and down to earth. She's not worried about what a man thinks about the way she looks or dresses. She's a very clean woman. She's not tacky, but she wears what she wants to wear, and she styles her hair the way she wants to style her hair. She probably looks very tomboyish. She probably likes to wear clothes that a man ideally is wearing, like maybe a sweatsuit, some jogging pants, something of that nature that males tend to wear. You don't see her in these 6-inch heels. You don't even see her in a 2 to 3 inch heel. Normally she's probably got on some tennis shoes, some sneakers, maybe some slip-ins, but she's real chill, real relaxed, real natural looking, hair very natural looking. She keeps her hair done. She doesn't wear makeup at all, or she's very minimal in her makeup. She doesn't go out and get all these long fancy fingernails. She probably goes and gets a manicure, but it's like her natural nails, or she keeps them at a very reasonable length. She's just being her authentic self. Men go crazy over these type of women. They can't get enough of them. So it kind of makes sense why these men are going crazy over lesbian studs or butch women, tomboys, because these women, they look good just being themselves, and they're not worried about attracting men or impressing men. And this drives these men crazy, but they won't tell you that. And the reason why is because, well, they kind of already know they can't really control you, but they are hoping that you will allow them to control you. So we'll continue. He's going to start talking about what he thinks of this lesbian stud.
Mad. What did you expect? Like, I don't understand.
Miss Ma'am or Mr. Ma'am, whatever you want to go by, listen. You don't look like a man. You don't. You look like a woman, okay? You look like a woman in a natural state. That's what you look like. I don't care what kind of cosplaying you doing to try to think you a man, you're not a man. And men see that. Men see a woman, right? And that just, it is what it is. And some of these dudes, will see some of the studs and say these studs are attractive and they want to holler at the stud. And a lot of men know not all studs are all the way there. Yeah, they messing with women or whatever, but they could turn on back to the side of being with a man. A lot of them, because a lot of these so-called studs, lesbians, or whatever, sometimes they just, because they're mad at a man at the time period, they start messing with women. They see how throwed off women are, and some of them will say, "I don't see how even men fool with women. My God." Some of them will say, and then they go switch their game back up and get back with a man. So that's just really what it is. He saw a woman, he tried to holler at a woman. He didn't care about all that stud crap. He just didn't, whatsoever. You know, you can take hormones, you can take whatever else you want to take, but I wouldn't suggest do all that. Now, one thing I do respect about the studs, though, let me give some respect.
All right. Now, I'm going to pause right there. So what he just said goes back to where I was explaining earlier that a lot of these men think that the tomboyish, masculine presenting women, the butch women, are always going to go back to men. They think that as if they always wanted a man, they're never going to stop being interested in men, but they went through some type of heartache or pain with a man and they decided to give men a break, and now they're going to be with the girl, and they're with the girl until the girl annoys her and she realizes why women are crazy, and she says, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to go back to men because that's where I belong. Well, this is how most men think about lesbians and masculine presenting lesbians. They think, like he's saying, he thinks that these women, they're dressing up like boys, but they may mess around with girls, but it's only temporary. Ultimately, they're going to end up being with a man. So he does not have any concept of what lesbianism means. He basically is saying that lesbianism is a facade. Being a lesbian is not real. And what I was saying earlier, just to get back to what I was saying earlier, there's a lot of women who are tomboyish or masculine presenting. And men often think that they're dealing with a lesbian, but she's not a lesbian. She may be bisexual. She may be pansexual or demisexual, or she could be a heterosexual woman. But because she gives off this vibe that because of her dress being more like what a guy would wear, and her demeanor is more, boyish, he thinks automatically, oh, she's a lesbian. So they think they're dealing with a lesbian because these men have no concept of realizing that there are many women who have different sexual orientations. This world is not just black and white, meaning there's just not heterosexual people and homosexual people. No, there are other sexual orientations. There are other gender identities. But most heterosexual men do not think about any of that. They don't. So they only see these masculine presenting women as lesbians, but they are the uttermost contradiction, because if you are viewing this woman as a lesbian, then why would you say that she's going to go back to being with a man? As if she always was with a man. She may have never been with a man before, but they assume that every lesbian has been with a man before. And if she's with a woman right now, she's going to end up with a man. And this is false information. This spreads like an STD. And someone like him who has a very large channel, YouTube channel, he actually is promoting lesbian erasure by doing this video. And if you have a platform, you need to educate yourself before you speak on sexuality and sexual orientation in women, because he is giving out very inaccurate information, and he's very bigoted and homophobic. He also is misogynistic because he did not address this woman in this video appropriately. He's making fun of her gender, and that's wrong.
switch their game back up and get back with a man. So that's just really what it is. He saw a woman, he tried to holler at a woman. He didn't care about all that stud crap. He just didn't.
You see, you heard him say he saw a woman, he hollered at a woman. He don't give a crap about that stud crap. Again, he's completely disregarding lesbian women. He has no respect for lesbian women. And men like this, they always overstep the boundary of women and their sexual orientation. They do not care about the fact that you are a lesbian. And this is a violation. You are actually discriminating against women and lesbians. And they do not even care. They will get on a platform and spew all of this man talk and think that they're justified in everything that they say and do. And this is why we have a society that is hypersexual, and why women do not feel safe in a world among these men. And men are supposed to be leaders and protectors, but they do not carry on those roles responsibly at all. A man is only going to see you as someone who he can have access to, someone who he can manipulate and control and ultimately sleep with. And women have to protect themselves. They have to be wary of these men. I'm not saying go around being afraid and living your life under a rock. But the reason why I'm doing this video, as I said earlier, is to enlighten, educate, and coach lesbian women, specifically in this video, masculine presenting women who identify as lesbians, so you can understand more about the male mindset and for you to be safe and protect yourself, because this is the real world. This is not a joke. This man in this video is telling you how men really think of you. So listen to understand and use this man game. This is man game. He's giving you the game. A lot of women will not listen to this because they're going to feel insulted. They're going to feel attacked. I'm telling you, as a life coach, that I hear a lot of things, and I don't allow it to upset me and for me to take it personal to the point where I am not able to do and perform my role as a life coach. You have to listen and learn from people in order to have a better life.
Ever, but they could turn on back to the side of being with a man. A lot of them, because a lot of these so-called studs, lesbians, or whatever, sometimes they just, because they're mad at a man at the time period, they start messing with women. They see how throwed off women are, and some of them will say, "I don't see how even men fool with women." My God. Some of them will say, and then they go switch their game back up and get back with a man. So that's just really what it is. He saw a woman, he tried to holler at a woman. He didn't care about all that stud crap. He just didn't, whatsoever. You can take hormones, you can take whatever else you want to take, but I wouldn't suggest do all that. Now, one thing I do respect about the studs, though, let me give some respect to the studs, shout out to the studs, is that the studs aren't trying to take over men's spaces. The studs aren't out here calling themselves trans men and all kind of things like that either. Unlike, the trans women and trying to take over biological women's spaces. You know what I'm saying? You don't see.
Now he is attacking the transgender community. Now he wants to show respect to the studs, to the lesbian studs, because he says, in other words, they don't try to overtake man's spaces In other words, he's telling lesbian women who are masculine presenting, or even trans men, he's telling you, good job, you're staying in your place. He's telling you, stay in your place as a female. You will never be equal to a man. Don't come in our spaces. You are not welcome. I know that's hard to hear, ladies, but I'm telling you, he's telling you out of the horse's mouth. He's telling you exactly how men view you and think of you. He's extremely misogynistic, and he's genderphobic, he's transphobic, and he's homophobic. So now he wants to give you your props because you're staying in your place. In other words, you stay in a woman's place. Don't go in a man's space. So he let us know that he does not like trans women, and he doesn't like trans men, and he doesn't even like studs or masculine presenting women. But he said that the only reason why he's able to tolerate you is because the lesbian studs and the trans men, they're staying out of the way. They're not disrupting men's spaces. But I will say this. These men want women to stay in their place, but these men don't know how to stay in their place and respect women. And that's evil.
You can take whatever else you want to take, but I wouldn't suggest do all that. Now, one thing I do respect about the studs, though, let me give some respect to the studs, shout out to the studs, is that the studs aren't trying to take over men's spaces. The studs aren't out here calling themselves trans men and all kind of things like that either, unlike, the trans women and trying to take over biological women's spaces. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that whatsoever. So, yes, studs, if you aren't butch and you still, a guy can see, what you look like, just natural, and that's call it what it is. The studs are hollering at you. They naturally are attracted to you because you're not putting on the lashes, you're not putting on the makeup, you're not putting on the wigs, you're not putting on nothing. And these dudes are trying to holler at you. So there you go. So, some women that say, oh, well, they do all that stuff because that's what men like. Well, that woman didn't have no lashes, no makeup, no nothing, and yet a dude was trying to holler at her. Right? So there it is. Now, these dudes would pull up on the stud these days. Now, back in the Gap, that wouldn't happen.
All right. So that was the end of his reaction to the lesbian stud who was expressing herself and explaining that she is a gay woman and that she is not interested in men, but yet men continue to hit on her, and they're very disrespectful when she turns them down. And this also is something that I noticed about him. He never said anything about that man cursing her out after she told him she's gay and that she doesn't like men. So men are always on men's side. They will never see a woman's perspective. They will never respect a lesbian perspective. They will never protect women because men are all the same who think like him and who think like the guy that was in the car at the red light and cursed out the lesbian stud because she says she's a gay woman and she doesn't like men. They never correct the men because he was completely out of line to curse her out. You need to learn how to take rejection. But I hope that you are able to understand what I wanted to be able to advise you about regarding men. I know that it can be hard to hear. I know that it can be very upsetting, but use this knowledge to your advantage, ladies, and continue to be yourself. Don't let men control you and manipulate you and tell you what you should and should not be doing. Keep being yourself. I have so much respect for the lesbian community. I love how we are able to express ourselves and be ourselves and mind our business because we want to mind our business, not because somebody tells us to mind our business. If anything, all of these people, men like him, are in our business and they need to stay in their place. So I have much respect for you, all of the lesbian women, however you express yourself, feminine, masculine, androgynous, and the entire LGBTQIA plus community. Be encouraged, be yourself, stay authentic. And if you need a life coach, I am here for you. My name is Giselle Wallace. My contact information is below this video in the description box. Stay strong, stay powerful, love yourself, put God first, and you will always win.